Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the Court of the Digester. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to those of you that are watching. Thank you for doing so. Please like and subscribe. Or if you could share this video on Twitter, that helps enormously with the algorithm. Other than that, if you can become a warrior teacher, please do. Still a couple of days left. And if not, hey, you know, never mind. Just listen to me waffle, which is what I do. So welcome to my waffle. Where are we today? Well, today we are in the world of education, or re-education, or / indoctrination, whichever way you happen to view the particular story that I've got that has been given to us today by the Telegraph by Louise Clarence Smith on the 22nd of September 2023. Why do I feel like I'm on That's Life? Weird. And it concerns somebody who I can say I've met more than once and said hello to and spoken to briefly, who I think is an extraordinary individual. When you meet this individual, Alka Sehgal-Cuthbert, the intelligence shines off her. She's so clever and also so thoughtful and so kind and a tremendous person. I was very pleased to meet her and she made a very big impact on me. So I was rather disgusted to see what I see in the Telegraph as of the 22nd of September. The academic who criticised teaching white privilege in schools has been no platform from a conference. But of course, you know, it's got nothing to do with woke, has it? Right? An academic who has criticised the teaching of white privilege in schools has been no platform from an education conference over claims she would make other speakers feel unsafe. This is an education conference. And there are teachers or people who are specialists in education at this conference who think that Alka, right, will make them unsafe because of her thoughts. Think on that, right? Nutters. Are all scientists and teachers, and they've all gone nuts, haven't they? They've all gone mad. There's a joke there somewhere. Don't know what it is with me and oh, I remember the joke. I'll tell you at the end. I might tell you at the end. See how I feel. Got to be in the right mood, right? Dr. Alka Sehgal-Cuthbert, 62, was told her panel discussion at the Rethinking Education Conference, less rethinking education and re-education thinking, methinks, right? I stole that, by the way, from a Twitter user. That's on Saturday has been cancelled because of complaints from speakers and delegates about her attendance. Dr. Cuthbert, director of Don't Divide Us, go and follow them. Don't Divide Us, a campaign group which challenges the idea that Britain is systemically racist, has been invited to speak on a panel about indoctrination within education and how we can avoid it. The irony! Indoctrination and how we can avoid it. That was the panel that she was supposed to be on. People complained that because she had views that they didn't agree with them, that she shouldn't be able to speak on a panel about how to avoid indoctrination. I think having a plurality of views may be a clue. So these clowns, which is what they are now, I mean, they're clowns. You can forget the entire conference. It's going to be just run by clowns, isn't it? Right? That's hysterical. Indoctrination within education and how we can avoid it. What the hell is wrong with these people? However, in an email from a conference organiser on Friday, she was told that the company had been contacted by 7 speakers and delegates who said they would not feel so safe to appear at the conference alongside a representative of Don't Divide Us Now. You've done exactly the opposite of what you should have done, the organisers. They should have said, all right, don't come. Go on then. Don't come. And if that meant that Alka was the only one on the stage, give her the stage for an hour. That's what they should have done, but they didn't. They capitulated. They got down on their knees and swallowed the woke knob. That's what they did. I'm so sorry. Oh, not too hard. They swallowed the woke knob. That's what they did, on their knees, publicly. The organiser said, in seeking to reimagine an education system where all young people and adults can flourish and thrive. What, have we got an education system where they aren't? We seem to be doing all right. Well, we were until the woke got hold of it, right? So over the last 20 years, you've completely trashed education. There's the same people that are now going to say, here's how we're going to reinvent it. You couldn't make it up. You couldn't make it. It's like a business failing and going up into bankruptcy, right? And then 8 people that ran the business, and the business has failed because they were selling a product nobody wanted, right? Or they made a product that wasn't needed, or like the Optigrab from The Jerk. Do you remember that? Made everybody go cross-eyed. The Optigrab, right, from The Jerk with Steve Martin, like that sort of thing, right? And they go bankrupt. And then the 8 of them get together in the pub afterwards and go, I was hard on it. The other one goes, yeah, what should we do next? I don't know, why don't we set up a business? So you've got a bunch of people getting together, this conference, who have wrecked education in the first place, now saying they're going to reimagine it. What, back to what it was before you got your hands on it? I bet, eh? Quick, volte face. They've noticed. You know, stroking children constantly, whether it be metaphorically or in reality, and telling them how important their feelings are, and how they're centred in education, and how child-centred learning matters, and how it's so important that... Oh, shut up! You'd have been better off with a blackboard rubber, a stiff ruler, and repeating the law that means you can't whack around the bloody head. We'll go back to that bit of the Billy Bunters. So these nutters, right, have got a conference. You can't make it up. The organisers said, I strongly believe that we need to have difficult conversations. Just not those. I strongly believe that we should have difficult conversations and that people should be prepared to subject their ideas to scrutiny and challenge. Just not now. They are such tossers, aren't they? Right. However, here we go with a however. If somebody says however or but after something, you can ignore what came before, all right? Just a tip for you, right? However, psychological safety is a precursor to free and open debate. No, it's not. You unbelievable idiots. That's what they're telling the kids. Psychological safety is not a precursor to free and open debate, right? Being able to get over the fact that you might not be safe is the precursor to doing things. You unbelievable, weakening, victim-creating arsewipes. Right, is a precursor to free and open debate and the need to subject ideas to scrutiny. Have psychological safety. You need to get out of education. I want them psychological, not nippers. They get to a certain point. I want them terrified of the world. Right, I want them seeing adverts about kids getting electrocuted by flying a kite near a pylon. I want them to see adverts where they're playing around with farm machinery and one of them gets impaled on a combine harvester and upturns death with his scythe. That's what I want. I want teenagers traumatised to the extent that they won't say boo to a goose until they've spent some time understanding how the world is. And what do you want to do? Make sure they're psychologically safe. Yeah, because when they're 18 and they hit the streets and they're not actually at uni being coddled as well, and they have to deal with the likes of me and other people like me, their psychological safety is going to be paramount in their mind, is it? No, you are going to cripple them in their ability to deal with difficult swine like me. You are going to cripple them in their ability to move forward in any meaningful way because you think weakness is a virtue. You disgust me. Alka, on the other hand, is a reasonable and clever person. So thankfully, it's not me you deplatformed. Right? So Alka then responds to the decision. The only person on a panel of 3 to be disinvited is myself, a woman of colour. It's the irony, right? She said, it seems like my belief in colour-blind meritocratic approaches to race upset a few people who don't have the courage to make their case publicly. You see how Alka there is able to say in 2 lines what it took me 5 minutes. Just, I hate that I'm that uneducated, right? Okay. Contesting Britain is systemically racist. Don't Divide Us was set up in 2020 as a campaign group to contest the idea that Britain is systematically racist. The campaign group states on its website that it believes the protests which spread to the UK in the wake of the murder of George Floyd in America did not reflect the progress that's made towards being a largely cohesive and successful multiracial society. You know, Alka's got a PhD in philosophy from Cambridge. There's a person coming, they've got a PhD in philosophy from Cambridge, they're talking about things in a different way than you are, and we've invited them to come on to discuss your ideas. No, thank you. Why? Psychological safety. Okay. But the people who put it together, instead of going, yeah, you're unfit for our conference. Go away. You're not well. Go away. No, go. If these people are so psychologically scared, it would just take a small email. Don't come. Yep. Weak twat. Don't come. We need to be meritocratic. Our society needs to be meritocratic. We need the best. And that best filtration system should start about 13. That's where it should start. We're looking for the best. Okay? Right, that guy there, what's he gonna, philosopher? No. Why? He's more hands-on. Why? Hasn't done so well as he could have done in the past. Well, so what do you think then? Do you want philosophy or apprenticeship? He loves Anything to do with his hands. All right, okay. Let's see if we can get him a job at Quick Fit for the weekend. Could be the best tire fitter in the country. I'm not saying that there's a hierarchy. I'm saying the sorting hat needs to start earlier. We need to get the idiots out of our society before they're grown by the very institutions that are designed to make them human beings who can think. This conference is an embarrassment. Not asking Alka to go, in fact refusing to have Alka there because of the psychological safety of a few weak twats. And they've capitulated to that, is a disgrace. You guys are clowns. Hope you enjoy filleting the woke knob, by the way. You know, there's a certain kinkiness and fetishism there. Right, I didn't feel like doing the joke earlier on, so I've done it now. Right, so I can tell you the joke. It just suddenly came to me about scientists being ridiculous. And I remembered this joke, and I thought, oh, do you know, I like that joke. It's one of my favourites, okay? And it concerns a man called Professor Kettlebaum, okay? Who is a German, of German extraction. Good afternoon, my name is Professor Kettlebaum. Who was at a conference, right? I struggle with jokes because I find myself funny, right? Who's at a conference, okay? So there's this conference and everybody's sat there. They've got, like, you know, all these big TVs around, and it's a real big thing in the scientific community. They've all got together. And these are all scientists who are interested in one particular subject, which is the subject of entomology, which I believe is the study of insects, and, you know, including spiders, I think, even though they're not technically insects, they're arachnids, right? So they've got their conference together, and they invited the world specialist on arachnids, which is Professor Kettlebaum, who comes on to the conference, and he's on stage, and there's big screens and cameras everywhere, and he's got a table in the middle of the room with a matchbox. That's all that's there, right? Okay, and the whole crowd roared, ladies and gentlemen, from the University of Bonn, Professor Kettlebaum. And this little guy comes wheeling in. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Professor Kettlebaum from the University of Bonn. It is my pleasure, nay, my duty, to speak to you today on the subject of arachnidae, or for those not in the know, spiders, whom I have been studying for 40 years in my field. I will begin. Watch closely. At which point he moves up to the table and he opens the matchbox and he takes the matchbox out. And there's this spider sat there, looking all disgruntled. A disgruntled spider. You will see, witness, the spider, it's a table, and watch carefully. The first part of my experiment. And he leans over and he looks at the spider and he goes, okay. Move forward. And the spider moves forward. Move backwards. The spider moves back. Move left. Move right. The spider moves. The crowd go crazy. There's a huge round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. He said, now. And for the second part of my experiment, watch carefully. And he picks up the spider and he pulls all his legs off and he puts it back down on the table. And there's just this body. The spider's going, what's going on? And there's just this body of this spider sitting in the middle of the table. He goes, watch carefully. I will begin again. Ready? Move forward. Nothing. Move backwards. Nothing. Left. Nothing. Right. Nothing. Nothing. And there you have it. He says, and the crowd sort of look at him in astonishment. And a young woman at the front who's come to says to him, but Professor Kettlebaum, what exactly does this prove? He says, madam, he says, this proves beyond a doubt that if you pull all the legs off a spider, he goes deaf. I'll see you later.